The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Some officers have demonstrated disrespect for the people they are sworn to protect. Some have videotaped themselves throwing drinks at pedestrians from their cars, insulted people with disabilities, and called black people monkeys, animal, and boy.
Welcome to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Now, today we're going to talk about two subjects. I wanted to re-go over the whole Briana Taylor thing, because this is important, people. A lot of you missed key moments in what Merrick Garland said about the people that killed Briana Taylor and how it's connected to Memphis. You see, there's a cabal of police officers out here that's being trained somewhere in America to go after minority communities. They're not going to admit that, but that's what's happening. I've been seeing this go on since Ronald Reagan. You see, the whole divide and conquer strategy is nothing new. It's been going on since basically the end of slavery. It's been going on since slavery, where you had the house Negroes and the field Negroes. But they're still using the same playbook. You see, they used to have majority white police officers and majority white prison guards and jail guards. Now they've changed the game. You can go into your local newspaper and see hiring for law enforcement officers, but they really want minorities. You see, when you got a situation where you're constantly getting sued for racist tactics, you change the game up. So you put minorities in those slots. That way, if something happens and you're still brutalizing those people, they can't go in and say civil suit, racism. The judge will laugh at them and throw it out. That's your own kind. You must have did something wrong. But the racist tactics have been taught to those people. It's been going on for a long time. And it's creating a classism between us minorities, to where you have those who are in with them and forget everybody else. This is dangerous times. But there's one thing that Merrick Garland said that I think went over a lot of people's heads. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in a minute. Let's go further to what he was talking about the Louisville police officers.
The officers were executing a search warrant but found no evidence of any crime. In a separate criminal case, we have charged that officers involved in obtaining the warrant knew that the affidavit that supported the warrant contained false and misleading information.
Now, like I said, this has been going on for a long time. The cabal of people, and it's mostly the majority southern states, Republican ran southern states. And what I believe they've done, instead of them going to the feds and have the feds come into their state to handle whatever kind of crime problem they have, they've decided to group together and send minority officers to a certain location and train them into how to brutalize black people. That's what's going on. In this next clip, you're going to hear Merrick Garland say a word the Viper Squad. These are the people that killed Briana Taylor. But they are also a different group with the same name that killed that young man in Memphis. See, that went over a lot of people's heads. You see, you can't use criminals to knock off criminals. You can't do that. Economics, good economics, keeps people from crime. But they don't want good economics. Good economics means sharing the wealth. Some of you are catching on to this. Good economics means less crime. Because if you're eating and everybody eating around you, ain't nobody gonna be standing on the block. For what? Even me. I was just into it a few months ago with some people. But I chose to put my money before getting out here mixing it up with people in the streets. I chose my money over that. Good economics will keep you out of garbage because they got people for that. They got ways to handle that without going to the gunplay. Listen carefully to what Merrick Garland said.
Our report also describes unlawful law enforcement practices by LMPD patrol officers and by members of a specialized unit that was first called the Viper Unit. The unit was later rebranded as 9th Mobile Division and the Criminal Interdiction Division.
Listen to what he just said. The Viper Unit. This is going to be very important because they've been investigating Kentucky and Louisville for a long time. That means this Viper Unit was trained a long time ago. That means this cabal of police officers and law enforcement are taking units of men and women from different counties, different states, and sending them somewhere and training them in how to brutalize people. This is going to pop up again because it's in their training. It's in their training. Some of us need to go back and research on those officers that knelt on that man up in Missouri. Were they a part of the Viper Squad? What about the other young man that got shot and killed in the street? What I'm trying to say is the connections is there. This is not no conspiracy theory. This is not no coincidence. Let's go to Memphis because this is more recent. Listen to this.
The incident, all 5 officers were fired after an internal investigation found they violated multiple department policies, including excessive use of force, duty to intervene, and duty to render aid. The attorneys representing 2 of the officers saying their clients plan on pleading not guilty.
No one out there that night intended for Tyre Nichols to die. No one.
2 Memphis Fire Department personnel who helped care for Nichols have also been relieved of duty, pending an investigation, the department says. The Shelby County District Attorney's Office, the FBI, and Department of Justice are all now investigating.
You see, they're throwing these people under the bus. And it makes you think that they're doing away with the Viper Squad, but they're not. They're not doing away with these people. They got rid of the unit up there in Kentucky after Briana Taylor. Changed the name. They got rid of the unit down in Memphis. Viper Squad in Memphis. Fired them people, locked them up. Yeah, they'll throw away a few of them. But what about in Utah? What about in New Mexico? What about in South Carolina, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama? What about those Viper Squads? All of these people are being trained somewhere by the same people. Listen how easy it is to throw them under the bus.
Tomorrow, what did the speed of these charges tell you about this case?
That what scant evidence or information was available early on was so devastatingly damaging to the integrity and reputation of the police agency, and so disgusting and egregious that it compelled law enforcement professionals who normally would circle the wagons and play cover-up to step out in front or to push a relatively fast pace. And I say relatively fast pace because it's been just about 2 weeks. But I think it's important to note that the tempo, the tone, and the tenor has been set and was set early on by Chief Davis, Memphis Police Department, who is a premier law enforcement or professional.
Now you heard what he said. Usually they would circle the wagons and play the protect game, but they don't want to damage the whole reputation of the Viper Squad in itself. Those people are still out there. What I want to know is, who are the people training these people? Because they're creating a class of minorities that feel like they're above the people that they're supposed to be serving and protecting. That's what they're doing. These people acting like gang members. That's how they acting. And it's been going on for a long time. A long time. I remember how a friend of mine, he had filed a civil suit against some white officers that destroyed some stuff in his cell. And he won $10,000. The stuff in his cell didn't even cost that, but it was a civil suit. He won like $10,000, and they basically dismissed his charges. They let him out. But when you putting minorities in those roles as white oppressors, what can you do? You can't file no racism. That's your own people. I guess you can still file a civil suit, but what do the higher ups care? That's another version of black on black crime. They brutalize you and you sue them. So it's minorities against minorities either way it go. I thought that was interesting because I didn't see nobody in the news that connected the dots. And I'm surprised at that. Merrick Garland just came out with this report, and he's been studying these people in Louisville for a couple of years now. And that word, the Viper Squad, popped up again. Sooner or later, it's going to happen again. But I got a funny feeling when they train these people now and send them back to their respective districts, I don't think they're going to go back with the name Viper Squad anymore. They're going to try to change the name immediately. When they go to this Viper Squad school and get trained in how to brutalize people in the community, they're not going to be able to carry that name back to their community like they've been doing. See, that whole Viper Squad is like a badge of honor. You know, they're part of an elite group of Crime Stoppers. But now, they finna hide that. They finna shovel that name and keep that at whatever base of operations they have. They're gonna shovel that name up under the rug. And when they send you back to your Memphis or Louisville or Nashville or, you know, wherever your district is, that unit is going to be Viper Squad, but it's going to be under a different name. When we get back off this first commercial break, I'm going to talk about residual income. This is a subject I love because I made $120 in 6 months off of my apps. And it's not a lot of money. There are some people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month off of their apps. So it's not a lot of money, but it's a start. Residual income is something that a lot of people out here are jumping into. It allows you to leisurely go into other things, but you can still maintain your bills. So when we get back, I'm going to talk about my book that's coming out, and we're going to talk about residual income.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Introducing Kindle Vella, a new way to tell a story to readers in the Kindle mobile app, a new way to earn royalties, and a new way to engage and interact with readers. With Kindle Vella, you can reveal your story one episode at a time. Create a story that hooks readers and keeps them coming back to catch up on the latest plot twists and turns. Readers can start any story for free. After that, they purchase tokens and redeem them to unlock additional episodes. Kindle Vella provides authors a new way to earn royalties when readers use tokens to unlock episodes. Kindle Vella makes it easy to find the perfect story. Use tags to help readers quickly find the stories, genres, or microgenres they're interested in. Kindle Vella includes new ways for readers to interact with stories and share feedback with the author and other readers. To make sure they never miss a thing, readers can follow stories they like to be notified whenever a new episode is released. When a reader enjoys an episode, they can give it a thumbs up to let the author and other readers know they liked it. Each week, readers who've unlocked an episode receive a fave that they can grant to the story they enjoyed most. Stories with the most faves will be featured on a leaderboard to celebrate top picks and help others discover these most loved stories. With author notes, you can break the fourth wall and speak directly to your readers. Do you have a story to tell? Start your first story today at kdp.amazon.com/Kindle Vella.
Kindle Vella. I played that whole commercial for you because I think Amazon KDP is like one of the best things since sliced bread, people. I'm just going to be straight up with you. I wrote 8 books, and this was almost 10 years ago, and my books have been sitting collecting dust for years. I decided to go ahead and try to publish when I first started writing, and they have this new thing to where it's called self-publishing, but they charge you almost $3,000 to $4,000 to edit your book, publish it, and do a little bit of advertising. Okay, the problem with that is if your book isn't pushed properly, it's not going to make any money, and you lost out on $3,000 or $4,000. You see, they used to give you $40,000 or $50,000 so you can write a novel and they would have the rights to your book for 10, 20 years, and then the rights to your publishing will return back to you, if that's in your contract. But that's usually how they do it. But this whole new self-publishing thing took an evil twist. I call it an evil twist, but it's profitable. If you're a publishing company, it's profitable. But you go out here and get these random people and get $3,000 or $4,000 out of them, publish their book, and they don't make any money off of it. They just have a book out there. Well, Kindle, KDP, has circumvented that. Now you don't have to even deal with a publisher. You can type your book up, put it on a PDF file, have your designer create your book cover, who does book covers. Don't just pick any designer. And you can self-publish your book straight to Amazon. There are 2 or 3 other companies that do the same thing, but they're circumventing the publishers. You know, and it's a good thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't think it's a good thing, but for you, it's cheaper. All you have to do is invest your time and maybe $100, because you're going to have to find somebody to edit it for you if you're not good at editing. You're going to have to buy software if you're not good at editing yourself. You're going to have to find somebody to write your book cover, do your book cover for you. And that's going to be $50. So with the minimal amount of money, you can publish your own book and start on your journey to residual income. There's other things out there like apps. There was a young lady that I met a few months back during the time I spent with Primerica. I think her name is Shakia Bailey. I think I can see her in a few years being very, very successful. And I tried to put her up on apps because, you know, I know she's the type of person that might take advantage of that. And anybody that want this type of information can get it. I'll give it to you freely. I don't hold nothing back, especially when it comes down to minorities getting residual income. The app game is something special and unique, because if you look at that little small banner at the bottom of the app, say you got a game, say you got your favorite game. We're gonna go with Candy Crush because my mother loves Candy Crush. So we're gonna go with Candy Crush. Candy Crush has over 20 million downloads. What a download is when you download it to your phone. So that means in the world, over 20 million people have downloaded Candy Crush on their phone. Now get this. When you open up a game or an app, at the bottom of that app is a little small banner. That's what you call advertising. Major companies in the world pay Apple and Google millions of dollars for advertising. So once Apple or Google gets this money, they put small banners on your apps. It's annoying, but it's advertising. And there's a little small X in the corner that you can push to get that advertising off your app. I know some of you guys out there who have watched YouTube, and that annoying commercial pops up on your YouTube video. That's an advertising banner. Same thing with apps. Those advertising banners cost 10 cents to have on your app. That's not a lot of money. I know some of you guys are thinking, 10 cents? What is that? Understand how this works. 20 million people have downloaded Candy Crush on their phone. That's 20 million people times 10 to 15 cents. That's a lot of money every month. A lot of money. Understand how residual income works. 20 million people has downloaded. You can go to Google or Apple, wherever you find Candy Crush, go to Candy Crush and look under the description of the app. And it will tell you how many people have downloaded Candy Crush on their phones. The reason I made $120 in 6 months, because very few people has downloaded my app. But that's the thing about residual income. Over time, it picks up, it picks up, it picks up, it picks up. The more money you have to invest in a good app, more people will download it to their phones. The more people that download it to their phones, the more people who will see that advertising. The more people who sees that advertising, is more money in your pocket. That's how residual income works. You could be on the beach somewhere, you could be at a party somewhere, you could be asleep. Somebody in the world is playing your app, filling money into your bank account. I love talking about residual income. I love it. Once I get my truck company off the ground, I'm going to invest in helping other people with trying to get residual income. I'm going to start off with my family. I have a nephew right now who's in a programming school. He's going to school to program apps and websites. He's going to learn how to build apps. I can't wait till he graduates. I can't wait. This is what I mean by generational wealth, because this is stuff you can leave to your kids. You know, you can let them know the passwords. You can tell them, look, this is the bank account that's attached to that app. If something happens to me, you know what to do. This is residual income, but it's also generational wealth. This is something you can physically leave to your generations that come behind you. My first book that I'm putting out there is called They Come. It's a science fiction book. I think it's very good. I'm gonna toot my own horn this time. I think it's a very good book. I think if you pick it up and read it, you're gonna be like, wow, I didn't see that coming in the end. The twist in the end is gonna be a nail biter, but it's a good book. A lot of my material that I wrote, I was in a dark place. I was in a dark place in my life, and my method of writing, because I don't have very good speech. I have a conglomeration of different slang, and because I lived in a lot of different places, so my speech is not good. But when I'm writing, my method of writing is I get notebooks. I get 5 or 6 notebooks, and that's my book. And I'll write in handwriting my novel. Once I get through writing in handwriting, because the words flow while I'm writing, then I take my notebooks, open it up, get in front of a computer, and I'll type it in word processing, what I wrote down on my hand. During that process, word process is helping me clear up misspelled words. You see what I'm saying? So that's my process. Like I say, this book that I'm putting out right now is my material. I have all the originals. Now my cookbooks, if you want some good cookbooks, I paid a young lady, I think $100 for one. It was a small cookbook, and I paid her $200 for the other ones. and she was glad to get that money because, like I said, she was struggling, and she's an artist herself. She writes, but she writes articles. She don't write books, and she was trying to find a way to make some money. So I was trying to find a way to get some books on KDP so I can start getting residual income. So it worked out for both of us. She has some very good recipes. They are those cookbooks that's on my Amazon KDP are ghost written, but my novels are not, and they are very good books. So I hope you would go on there, go to Amazon KDP, type in Amazon KDP, or you could type in Kindle Vella. It's called Vella. They have two ways of uploading books. You can upload the whole novel, or you can do it like a TV show. You know how a TV show has one episode come on Friday and it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and then you got to come back the next Friday to pick up where it left off. That's what basically Kindle Vella is. You could put up 2 chapters at a time, 1 chapter at a time, and the first 2 or 3 chapters for your readers is free. But it's almost like they're getting episodes of whatever story that you're telling. Very good concept. I love it. And it's published. It's legally published, and it's yours. So for those of you who are amateur writers and you're trying to find an affordable way to publish your book, go to Amazon. They have several other, type it in, self-publishing, and they have several companies that you can just upload your book, and they will give you an IPN number, which is a barcode, and your book is legally published under your name, not the company's name. That's yours. So I hope y'all learned something today about the whole Briana Taylor and the investigation that Merrick Garland talked about, and I hope you guys learned something about residual income. Anyone wants any questions about residual income, I'm down. Hit me up. This is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.